Welcome back to the Game Changers, and I am joined by Rina, the sister for Miss Tima, who's actually come all the way here in person to support Serenity and Game Changers. Hey, Rina, thank you so much for joining me. How are you feeling? How are you feeling coming here at the LCS studio?
I'm super excited. It was kind of nerve-wracking getting on stage, but it was also super exciting seeing the Riot building. I used to play League myself, so it was like, wow, like world-breaking to see the actual building and like the LCS arena. Like, it's awesome.
And it must be also really exciting to see your sister actually step onto the LCS studio and then even just take a game.
Yeah, it was. Oh, like it was crazy. Like I've always seen pro players up here, and now that it's my sister up here, like I'm just so proud of her. Like that's my sister.
And then I believe that you flew all the way from San Diego this morning to come to support your sister.
Yeah, this morning, just from my from my university, woke up early in the morning just to get here, just so I can support my sister.
Have you guys been like texting or supporting each other, like coming into the series?
Yeah, she's been texting me, updating me with all the things, and I've been in my dorm room watching all the games. Like every time she popped off or like had an interview, I'd be sending her pictures, be like, "I'm watching you. That's you." You know, just a proud little sister.
You mentioned that you also used to play League of Legends a lot. What role did you used to play? And did you also used to play a bit with, Miss Tima herself?
My friends kind of just forced me into playing ADC. So I just kind of picked up MF, the first champ. And I played a few games of ARAM with Tomo, but that's about it. I'm kind of a bronze player, so too bad to be playing with Tomo.
Oh, that's fine. And then, part of Game Changer is also us getting to know those players, not just as like their IGNs, but also as in person. Do you have any fun episodes to share about Miss Timo in general?
So back home, she would take me to round one with her, and we'd just go around the whole arcade. And this one night, we came back with like 10 new stuffed animals that we just both added to our collection, and it was like a super fun memory right before I left for college.
And she's gonna make so many more memories coming into this Game Changers. One final question: do you have any message to your sister as we head into Game 3 of Arcana versus Serenity?
You got this. I'm so proud of you, and even if you lose, I'm so proud to see you on stage, but I know you guys will do great and win.
Okay, thank you so much for the interview. And back to you, casters.
Thank you so much, Ashley and Miss Timo's sister, for being here and rooting for the team, rooting for Miss Timo especially. Once again, this is game number 3 now of the best of 3. One of these teams, this is their final game of the LCS Game Changers.
And I gotta say, Miss Timo was a big part of the reason that Serenity actually made it to game 3. That Orianna is now 5-0 in the tournament, and I'm curious to see what Arcana does about it. It's something you gotta have to kind of deny at this point.
It's going to be pick or ban, but definitely in this game, but probably the next series as well. All 3 of the mid laners, Fairy Girl included, are massive, massive control mage. Orianna picks. Definitely love to see that champion. Also, the note on like families. My grandmom is watching right now, so I got to give her a shout out. She's actually a big Shapeshift fan.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I know that you're also a big plushie fan.
I am.
You're kind of jealous about the arcade hall that they had?
Well, you can win 10 plushies or you can make 10 plushies. I do make them.
You make plushies?
I do.
Oh my god. How am I surrounded by so many talented people? Everyone drawing in the lounge. Now we make plushies. I'm just up here. I write chicken scratch for notes in my notebook.
You have good notes.
I do. You can read these?
I haven't tried, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't think you can read these. They're pretty tough, Cal. But hey, excited to dive into game 3. But each team said they wanted to make this best 9 go to the distance. And hey, we're here. This is it.
Absolutely. Game number 9 of our first ever best of 9. I'm not going to stat check that. I'm just going to go ahead and keep saying it. This is going to be the first ever best of 9 as far as I am aware. And once again, the Twitch, whether or not this is Arcana's last game on the stage, the Twitch will remain that 100% pick or ban against them. That is just so funny to me every time.
All right, so the pick ban actually same as game 1, where Arcana was on the blue side, and it looks like we're going to match that Jack's first pick for Aquatic, who, props to her, I think she had her best game of the tournament in that first one.
Yes.
Really did a good job of taking that matchup, winning the level 1 as Jack's into Ornn, and running with it from there. But we also saw in that first game a Jarvan response, so it will be a Jarvan again for Shapeshift. And we'll see really which team is the first to make adaptations throughout this one.
I would love to see Shapeshift Nidalee. I believe Nidalee was the champion that Shapeshift originally hit Masters on, but not quite at that level of spiciness here. Both of these teams definitely want to make it to the finals today against the Astro Cats. I'm really excited to see hopefully some of the more fun champions picked as well. I would love to see Shapeshift play the Nidalee. I would also love at some point in this tournament, can we please see Hellosia on the rail?
Oh? Okay, I was about to say, I don't even know if you can pick Neferi right now. I was kind of curious.
I think you can.
But Xian Xin, no surprise, as it is the third game between these two teams where we see the Xin versus a Jarvan matchup. And with Orianna and Azir off the board, Syndra has been played in both games from Ayukura. Curious to see if that is picked up blind. That would be a little bit bold, but frankly, Ryle, given how big her champion pool is, has dropped a lot in pick ban, as bans really don't hit her. That will be the case once again. It's actually going to be LeBlanc locked in this time for Ayukura. I'm expecting to see the Shiv build, which has been piloted pretty well from Ayukura and Fairy Girl in this tournament.
This is the first LeBlanc game that Ayukura has done in the LCS Game Changer so far.
Okay.
It has been picked actually only by Fairy Girl, and
it's been banned away from her quite a bit.
It has been banned by quite a bit. So maybe Arcana or Ayukura are saying, all right, we're going to win this game, and then we're going to make the LeBlanc a priority pick in the next series as well. Nico is going to be that pickup for Miss Teemo. This was something that she played last week against Arcana as well. That was the first Arcana win of the day. So she is pulling out a pick that she previously lost against the same team, but this time she's saying this time it's going to go better. And
I was kind of talking about how both Azir and Orianna have been really big for Miss Teemo and Serenity because of the push it gives you and also the team fight value. I will say Nico does kind of fit that mold. Now, Nico in this matchup will be a little bit more limited as the game goes on because once LeBlanc does get access to the Shiv, she's able to play the wave and clear so safely, do damage from a distance, which Nico does have trouble dealing with. But when Nico has Flash up, the ability to have that Pop Blossom Flash to have game-changing team fights and buy space for Yumichi, I mean, that was the winning formula for Serenity in that last game. Yumichi is again on this area, and Serenity with the Jarvan and Nico already have tools to buy space for this area once again.
Once again, just a really, really strong team fight comp from Serenity, like you did mention. They were really powerful in team fights, not only in game 2, but even in game 1. Remember, when they were down so much gold, they were still somehow winning the team fights with the team fight comp that they are ever so comfortable with. Looking for still an AD carry lock in here for Ryle. Still, the only AD carry ban was that Twitch. Teams have given up banning AD carries against Arcana. It's just that simple. What are they going to do against her?
I really can't blame him at this point, and I must say that things have been rather narrowed down. Oh boy! It's a Shy-Sep Singe in the top lane.
Let's go Singed! I love the cheers for Singed here as well. Shy-Sep being, I mean, I don't know what else I would say. Obviously, the only Singed pick in the tournament so far was from Shy-Sep. Her KDA on the Singed that game was 3, 8, and 6, but that definitely does not speak to how well I think she played the Singed. At no point was she ever in front of her tower. It was always, I'm going to be behind the tower. I'm going to be causing chaos in the enemy jungler. I'm going to be doing something on the bot side. That is how Shy-Sep likes to play, and Singed really does unlock that playstyle for her. This is the first Caitlyn Lux bot lane that we've seen in the tournament.
Yeah, Ryle, another unique champion to her pool. And I gotta say with Shirley, so fun fact, talking with Summer again, Shirley mostly actually played ARAMs. Like they hit D2+, but a lot of mages in Shirley's match history actually played support Orianna earlier on in the tournament. So Lux being picked up with the Kate bot lane, that's a very strong lane for Arcana. And yes, I gotta say, when you have Kate Lux, it's important that you play for push bot and get plates and get Kate ahead. She's great from ahead when you're able to siege, but from behind, you can struggle.
Caitlyn is one of those champions that requires a very, very high amount of gold funneled into the bot lane, right? Where you need to get this champion some sort of gold advantage, similar to that of like a Draven, right, in the bot lane, where if you are ever behind or even, you are just that much further behind. So I'm going to be very excited to see. We've always had aggressive bot lanes, but now an actual like win lane, win game type of bot lane played here by Ryle and Shirley.
It's something where Arcana, if they want to really booked that ticket to grand finals going up against Astro Cats. I think a lot of this falls on the bot lane early. And to be fair, Ryle has been a big carry for this team. So I think putting more weight on her shoulders in a do-or-die game, it seems like it's been a winning formula for Arcana throughout the tournament. We'll see if that can be a winning formula for them as they try to keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward into game number 3 of the final best of 3 for one of these teams. Arcana versus Serenity have gone 1-1 every single best of 2 against each other so far, and now we finally get to see who comes out on top.
Evil Riot and evil tournament format. There has to be a winner. You know, it can't just be splits. We can't have a 10-game split. Got to decide it here.
Decided now in the final best of 9. Who will face the Astro Cats in the final best of 3 just later today to lift the Game Changers trophy? Who's it gonna be?
I gotta say, I mean, I'm gonna let the teams decide, but before we dive,
no fun.
I know, before we dive into the game, let's hear from Serenity's Shapeshift on her matchup with Arcana.
I think our matchup against Arcana is going to be really exciting. I think that semifinals is going to be hard, but I definitely think that we're going to win. I think we have an advantage in best of series. Just like, I think our team has the best mental of any of the teams easily. Everyone sort of keeps their head in it and is having a good time, and I think that that is a really big advantage when it comes to something like playing under the pressure of a longer series and you're on stage and all of that.
That's the power. That's the power of the frogs right there. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's the power of having fun, honestly, right?
Okay,
Like,
that's
we're all here to have a great time today, right? I hope everybody is. And definitely on the Rift as well, the players have been having a fantastic time.
Yeah. Nothing else to say about that. It's been a lot of fun seeing everyone behind the scenes really put their all into this event. We will be saying goodbye to one of our teams here, but do-or-die match on the Rift. And I gotta say, mid lane's been a pretty big part of this series so far. And I really want to see if Ayukura can step up on this LeBlanc, because something we're gonna have to look out for, side lane management. Against Singe can be pretty tough. As Singe, of course, wants to play in the side lane, wants to find shove, wants to really play proxy, deal with those waves. But once you get a Shiv on LeBlanc, you do have a lot of ways to actually deal with that and be somewhat safe. So if Ayukura is able to push her lead in the mid lane and use that to kind of neutralize Singe in the later stages, that could be the setup you're looking for to free up Caitlyn and really have that good siege when you're able to limit the side lane pressure from Serenity and limit the ability for them to collapse on that Caitlyn and break it.
Ayukura, as a player as well, has been looking for an excuse to break out of the Control Mage trap that she has kind of placed herself in. Honestly, she has played a Control Mage nearly every single game other than the Vex that she played last week, where she did go 13-2-6.
Yeah.
Very impressive KDA on an Assassin from an otherwise mainly Control Mage mid laner, as we have seen. She's gonna have a fantastic time on LeBlanc here this game. Looking for a very early 1-for-1 here. Miss Timo gonna be forced to just flash away and probably be forced to use that TP to get back to lane as well.
Yeah, great play from Ayukura already, as that's a lane advantage. Both summoner spells now down for Miss Timo, and this will start to open things up. Maybe Ayukura can support MP, as of course with Xin Zhao, you're pretty strong early if you are able to go in, and with mid lane advantage, could be something that Arcana look to, again, try and snowball things into bot, where we did put a focus on Kate Lux having the ability to take plates early in the game.
Absolutely, and this might honestly be the first time we've ever seen Ryle take heal in the bot lane. She's very much a ghost, a cleanse, anything. I think we've even seen her take exhaust before taking heal. I don't have the exact stats on that, of course, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is probably the first time she's taken heal, so that does kind of show they want to play at least a little bit more traditionally to win this lane. This is what I was talking about from champs. Like, Shysep does not stay in the top lane on a pick like Singe. She will be walked in the bot lane, even if she doesn't actually show on anything. Just the pressure of her not being in top lane does at least bring the bot lane of Arcana back away from the wave.
And I really like what MP did there, because they realize, hey, Singe isn't showing top. Aquatic likely calmed this to the rest of the team. Triceps will be able to actually pop the Ghost, so the Nas button to get back to lane and not miss out on too many creeps. And I will give Triceps a lot of credit. I think that she has had a lot of times in this tournament where out of all the top laners, she's been the one that has left lane and hovered others the most. And this is one of those moments where you lose out on the Ghost, but you still save the TP and you are still singed, so you can have pressure later. And
Miss
Miss Teemo
Teemo does not have flash, burns the W, but there is no deception there. First blood picked up there by MP. Ayukura did burn the flash, but still really well played by Arcana.
we set up this mid lane for being important. LeBlanc able to manage Singe later. Ayukura got the summoner spell advantage on her own, and with MP showing mid, they're able to cash it in as a duo and get that kill over to MP and Arcana. So really well done by Ayukura to not only get an advantage individually, but also communicate with MP to try and set things up. I know from talking with Coach Summer, she was really complimentary on how much Ayukura has stepped up as a leader in comms throughout this event, and really good to see an example of that there on the Rift.
Absolutely, but down here on the bot lane as well, Shirley just gonna be forced to flash away from Yumichi. You talked about Ayukura's improvement, Empty's improvement as well throughout this entire tournament. Usually you would have not seen them nearly as often in the ganks, right? They were very much a farming, supportive, play for teamfight type of player in the early stages of this tournament, but we've seen them improve so much over the past 4 weeks of gameplay, where now MP has always been at the right place at the right time, and that's not a coincidence if you're a good enough jungler.
Yeah, junglers I really value when you are able to step up. As Lyle's gonna get rooted.
Could be picked down here in the bot lane. Ruthless knockup lands. The Ignite taken down, but does she live? Not quite. That last tick of the Ignite picking it up for Alosia.
I really want to give credit to Shapeshift there. It's a flag and drag, right? It's simple, but the way that she actually dropped it, it got around the trap that Ryle set up, and it was still able to knock up Ryle as it was like kind of on the edge of the hitbox. That's a really small thing from Shapeshift, but very well played from her.
And remember, Caitlyn as a champion is one that suffers exponentially more when behind. Ryle is now down 10 CS, down a kill to the enemy's support, and is going to have just that much harder of a time in the bot lane to even find a push anymore.
Not only that, but we saw in the last game how good Yumichi's Zeri was, getting her hands on her most played champion again in this tournament. She does have a team that can make space for her. When you think of Nico Ultimate, Cataclysm from Shapeshift, Yumichi could really have some good moments later on in this game, as at the moment we do see Shysep getting a little bit of dirty farming in, not quite able to get the wave and go retreat, and this will be the mini game that Shysep's going to play for the majority of the game on this Singe. See how much pressure she can create inside lanes by utilizing the push and trying to proxy as much as she can.
Miss Teemo using the fake Karma passive, but they know it's not Karma. They, in fact, know it is a very dead Miss Teemo in the not bot lane, mid lane. Miss Teemo also was holding on to flash there, but just reaction speed checked, didn't make it through that time. Really well done once again by Empty. Once again, being in the right place at the right time, Ayukura get a very nice chunk up onto Shapeshift.
And I gotta say, this game, Ayukura is doing a fantastic job. And two of the players I was most familiar with from these two teams coming into this event, really, it was Ayukura and Yumichi, given their experience at a higher level. In a couple moments where they're, sticking around tier 3 teams or trying to make it in. Yumichi already set up for success on the Zeri, putting the Caitlyn behind, and Ayukura did a great job of creating her own lead, and I want to credit MP too. The W flash from MP, very clean from them in the mid lane. As you can see that hitbox advancing to make sure that Miss Teemo was caught. That's a 2-level advantage for Ayukura in the mid lane. That is huge moving forward, especially because LeBlanc will be the one that will be managing the Singed later on.
Absolutely. You do not want to get a LeBlanc out of control in the early game, but all of the gold that Ryle may have otherwise missed in the early game, remember, we're trying to get gold on the Caitlyn. This is kind of going into the pockets of Ayukura. You get one or the other ahead, and hopefully for the team of Arcana here, they can get the other one just as ahead. Ignite? No, not Ignite, just a burn dropped onto Miss Teemo, but Ayukura playing a little bit of fire here in the mid lane. She has to get this wave in.
Doesn't have access to TP2. We have to start thinking about the Rift Herald timer. First Dragon was secured by Arcana and MP, but Herald's going to be tricky because Singe, you don't exactly want to fight Herald, but you can create a lot of pressure to try and control it, as at the moment Ryle
no flash, Ruthless Ignite landed, and she's just trying to run for the hills. Shapeshift trying to make her way onto Shirley, and Shirley's just gone. Yumichi diving over the wall as well for her first kill of the game. MP will turn it back around for at least one member. This is a very fed Sin Zhao looking for the 1 for 2, 1 for 3. It's a triple kill for MP. Do not let them go untouched.
That is huge from MP as they turn around the bot lane matchup. I love the preemptive flash from Heloisia to try and root down Ryle, but she was able to retreat, so Yumichi was already a little bit chunked. She had to fully commit onto Ryle. This leaves MP to burn Shapeshift as she burned her tools to take down the Lux, and MP with the double buffs, the power of the Zen Sound early on, they're able to turn it around, get a huge triple kill, and turn this bot lane matchup in Arcana's favor.
And that is what Arcana
Let's
exactly
go.
needed in that play. Absolutely pop off for that. You all deserve it so much. You need to get this Caitlyn ahead, and if MP's the one finding the kills, if Ayukura's the one finding the kills, that is fine for now. Until it comes to the later stages. We're looking at 4-0-1 Zhao. They will be a problem later in this game.
Really nice chain from Ayukura. She actually bent that around the clone. I also love, I call them dopamine players. You know, when something good happens, you got to hype up everyone in the chat. Love seeing that from Ayukura. And Shirley is going to try hype up Ryle here, who does get caught. TP canceled as well as there's a fight in the top lane.
Fight in the top lane. TP from Aquatic was canceled there by Shapeshift, and Aquatic also almost loses her life for that one.
Herald, though, while this is going on, is being taken, so it is a bit of a trade. MP, they're still able to get something, so yes, Ryle does fall. This Caitlyn gets set further behind, which, as you highlighted earlier, Cam, really important for Serenity that Caitlyn continues to fall behind, but props to MP for still finding something on the map.
Still finding at least some sort of kill, something on the top lane in the favor of Arcana, but you gotta watch the plates on this bot lane that Yumichi and Heloisia have been claiming for themselves, right? They're sitting at 2.5 plates right now. Plates do fall in just about 3 minutes. They will not have access to that first Rift Shield, of course, but I mean, any plates you can get on a Zeri will always end up outscaling a Caitlyn.
And I do just want to set up that for Arcana, talked a little bit about the mid-jungle duo, getting LeBlanc ahead. Look at the items that they have already.
Yeah.
They have completed the first item, still behind for Serenity. Now, of course, we do have the bot lane matchup where Yumichi is ahead of the Caitlyn, who has been really focused, really set behind. So a little bit of a dichotomy that we have in terms of power from a couple of the spots on the map in this game. And honestly, Cam, making for a little bit of a tense game 3. It is a small gold lead and lead in Arcana's favor, but things can still get dangerous for them. We saw what Yumichi can do on this Zeri.
Yumichi is going to have to put the carry pants on. Carry dress? Carry dress on for this game.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that works.
Carry dress for Yumichi on the Zeri if they want to be able to make it to the finals. One more match to go. Ayukura getting a pretty massive chunk off on herself there, but the bot lane dive is nearing.
I do like what Ayukura and MP are doing here. They have the lead in mid-jungle, so they are shifting it down bot to try and catch Ryle back up. I think that is correct. Miss Timo will respond by getting mid in, but not even able to get a plate as Ayukura immediately TPs back mid, and control is still in the hands of Arcana.
Arcana did drop the Rift on the bot lane, but you do notice that I believe it was split between 3 or 4 members on all of those plates. So the more you split those plates, the less gold that they actually give anybody there. Shy stepped in a little bit of a pickle here in a 1v1, running away with the bees. Flash committed by Aquatic. Really nice solo kill there from the top lane.
Hey, Aquatic's Jax was a big difference in the game 1 win for Arcana, and they were counterpicked in this game, so for them, or for her to find a solo kill on the top side, really big from Aquatic to turn that matchup around. Now, of course, Shysep, she'll be able to make an impact in the side lanes later on, but that's big for Arcana because now they have push mid from the Shiv LeBlanc. Caitlyn started to get pushed in this bot lane. That solo kill top side, Aquatic push top. This means that the map is free for MP to do whatever they want. It's going to be a dragon picked up, a mountain dragon out of that, so very valuable for an individual Drake.
Super valuable for the second dragon as well, picked up for the much more early game team of Arcana. Remember, they need to get the early game champions ahead. They will end up being outscaled, but they let them straight to the dragon. Dragon finished up just in time, but MP's gonna be forced to flash over the wall. Ayukura will not be so lucky. Really nice turnaround back there from Serenity. They do lose the dragon, but at least get 1 kill in exchange.
And a bit of a shutdown important that went over to Miss Timo, of course, is behind due to Ayukura and MP's really good play in that mid-jungle duo to focus down that Nico and make life really difficult for Miss Timo in this game. But at least that's a consolation prize for Serenity. I do love what Ayukura is doing, though, on the LeBlanc. She's getting shoved mid with the Shiv, and then we see her hovering bot, making sure that the Zeri Karma is always going to be outmanned because LeBlanc's always on the hover. I think that's a really good way to turn around the lead that Serenity had in the bot lane, and we see that in the scoreboard as Ryle has been slowly catching back up.
slowly catching it back up. LeBlanc is definitely one of those mid laners where you push the wave and then you run to a side lane, right?
Yep.
And Ayukura has been doing that, but then also managing to find solo kills or solo pressure if you don't fully get the kill right onto Miss Teemo. Miss Teemo is yet to be able to even walk out from underneath their turret. This wave has been such a problem, and wave control as well from Ayukura has been such a problem for Serenity. We're going to be looking towards that second Rift Herald spawning up here in just a couple of minutes as Serenity pull a lot of members here to the top side.
Second Rift, it's still more than a minute out from spawning, but it looks like Serenity is actually trying to go towards the Singed lane. I must say this is a bit awkward. Usually you kind of want to leave Singed to their own devices. But we'll see if Lucia is able to find something as Aquatic going to be harassed a little bit, but it really is only camps that go over to Shapeshift as Yumichi not exactly farming a wave right now. And honestly, in the long lane, on this Shiv LeBlanc, Ayukura, she feels great right now. She's so slippery in this lane. Miss Teemo can't deal with her at all as the Nico. It's just at this point, given the matchup, really tough to do. So I'd love to actually see Zeri maybe even match in the side lane. That might make life a bit easier. It's good side step from the bot lane of Serenity, but the damage already done. Yumichi going to be under a bit of pressure, and a lot of damage will go over to mid, and Ayukura, she has push bot, so guess what she can do?
Ayukura just gonna single-handedly pick off Yumichi. She thought she was safe under her turret. Absolutely not.
Okay.
But Ayukura also equally will not be safe. That kill going back over to Lucia. It is a 1-for-1, but meanwhile, the rest of Arcana, hey, look at that 1v1. Never mind. We're just taking that out of turret.
Oh, curiously enough, Ayukura actually going for the Trinity Force Shift build. So this build is actually being hotfixed on the new patch. Shout out to Bobchin of TL for promoting this build so much that it actually got played in solo queue, and everyone figured out it was too strong, so they're nerfing it before Worlds. That's much needed, because this build, it is impossible to deal with it in the side lane. It will be Trinity Force likely into Hullbreaker. Love to see Ayukura utilizing this tech, but it's going to make life really hard for even a champion like a Singe to actually get pressure in the side lane.
Speaking of patches, I do appreciate that we've been on the same exact patch, 13.17, for the entirety of the tournament from week 1 all the way to finals. We have not changed patches, so I feel like removing the factor of, hey, we need to figure out how to adapt to new patches, I think does lend itself better to the players learning more about how to communicate, how to do all the other things that are part of League of Legends, other than just, hey, there's a new patch every single 2 weeks. We got to worry about that. Cloacia could be caught out here. The final spike just does massive damage. Ryle as well will be finally picking up her first kill of the game. Caitlyn is looking to get back into it, and this is by far the closest Ryle has been to Yumichi CS as well.
Yeah, Ryle with the headshot, figuratively and literally, as able to pick up the Karma. Lucia checking the bot river at the wrong time. And again, it's very difficult because Ayukura on this LeBlanc has so much pressure in side lanes. The ability for her to not just shove the wave, but also collapse and snowball that elsewhere is really big from Ayukura on this LB. And Serenity, again, don't really have ways to play around it. I think what they have to do is actually utilize the Nico Jarvan to force. Each of them have flash up right now. I would love to see them try and utilize those ultimates and flashes to create a big fight and create some of that space we've been looking for Yumichi to really function on this area.
It really doesn't matter how far behind you are in gold on the J4 or even the Singed as well, right? Like, this is a team fight comp in that even if you're 5k, 10k gold behind the enemy team, you can still win team fights if you click all the buttons and you communicate well enough that you are able to execute the wombo combo just that well. Yumichi also is not behind in gold by any means. Still maybe a little bit even, maybe a little bit ahead of Ryle, but as long as she's not behind, she is having a fantastic time. Shy stepped up here in the top lane. You may look at her KDA, you may look at her, I don't know, CS and say, she's having a rough game. She's absolutely not.
Oh, we got Basil Leaf stickers being handed out. That's
Where's my sticker?
I guess you're gonna have to go into the audience after this game and pick one up, Cam.
All right, you're on your own. Good luck.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll work on that as okay. We got a frog costume from Joshi. That's great. Talk about leaping forward here.
We are leaping forward into the dragon fight here. Yes, dragon soul fight here.
Soul point on the table for
Soul point fight.
Yeah, Soul point. It is available. It's Miss Teemo. Here we go.
Oh, Miss Teemo flash mob blossom.
There it is.
There it is. You do not need gold to land the wombo combo. MP will still spread for a massive amount of time, but here comes the turnaround as well. You have to land, but you have to do the damage as well. Shapeshift falls. Shy steps. Last member standing. She has the bees, but does she have the damage to finish off off the members of Arcana. She will run away, but she can still chase the Singed if you have enough gold to do so. It's yet another double kill for MP. It's an ace for Arcana, and it's their third dragon as well.
You know what? That's the fight, the execution, that Serenity we're looking for, but MP and Ayukura played that fight so damn well as MP was able to flash over the wall and re-engage after a couple of those ultimates went down from Serenity, and then Ayukura, too big on the LeBlanc, was able to get out of the Wombo combo, turn the damage around later as that Trinity Force now completed for Ayukura. Again, she'll be a menace in the side lane, and great to see her have an impact in the team fight as well.
Absolutely, and I don't think MP had the item completed before that team fight, right? Like, oh my gosh, look at their build. They completed probably an item plus at half from yet another team fight win, sitting at 600 gold bounty on their head here as well. We came from draft saying, you gotta play the bot lane, you gotta play the bot lane. Even just from the general game state, right? Like, you gotta play the bot lane.
Yeah.
But no, it's all MP today.
I mean, this is a great engage from his team. It was exactly what Serenity were looking for, but the follow-up, look at MP, jumps on Yumichi, chunks out Zeri, then is able to flash over this wall, whereas the Luxol took down Zeri with Ayukura. MP then re-engages, runs the rest of the fight. That is very well played from the mid-jungle duo of Arcana.
Mid-jungle duo will be the name of this game 3 here. Ayukura plus MP are the names to watch. I love the player reactions every time, even if it doesn't look like, I don't know, not as excited as Ryle. I'm sure in her head she's still like, oh my gosh, I just played that so well.
Uh-oh, hold on.
Oh no.
Yumichi gets rooted, does catch the Lux ult, is able to escape, but again, as long as Arcana is able to siege with this Kate Lux, LeBlanc keeps one of the lanes permanently shoved. Yes, Singed is able to get shoved, kind of, but you can't match Singed against LeBlanc and Aquatic because of the solo kill, the lead they've been able to create on the top side. It's just a map that continues to be pinched for Serenity. This is very difficult to deal with. They continue to bleed out objectives as the top inner turret falls in favor of Ryle and Arcana.
6,000 gold lead has spawned up here as well. Almost in the realm of objective bounties, I would say, for Serenity could be coming online here fairly soon. Aquatic will be able to dash away so easily this time, and Serenity are here to collapse. Miss Team on the bot side in her own 1v1, though. Aquatic surviving for a very long time in the 1v4, and Miss Timo will not go untouched. It's 1-for-1 on kind of across the map play.
Yeah, Ayukura, again, if you connect the chains with this build, your ability to space out the Sheen procs from the Trinity Force and the auto attacks is big. And in the skirmishes, Ayukura on this LeBlanc is going to be massive. So this is a pick that each mid laner, if Ayukura does make it to the next phase, to grand finals, will be contested against Miss Fairy Girl, as Ayukura, even in the first game playing on LeBlanc, has really proved that, you know, she's not only proficient on the champion as an individual, but also her ability to call MP to help out the lane. I mean, that's been the big difference in this game, Cam, as this LeBlanc has really broken the game plan of Serenity.
I love that not only from Ayukura, but from a lot of these players, we have seen them pick champions today that they have not picked at all yet in the LCS Game Changer. So often, when you're on the stage for the first time, when you have the nerves of being on stage today, right, you just go back to comfort. You go back to, I'm gonna pick this same champion that I played every single day in solo queue, right? Yeah. But not today. Ryle, for the first time, is picking Caitlyn. Ayukura, for the first time, is picking LeBlanc. Like, Shycept as well is going back to the Singed. Not a champion I would say she's probably particularly comfortable on, but still is managing to play so well today.
Also, I mean, even MP, we've seen Xin versus Jarvan for a lot of the Game Changers tournament, but these are the first Xin games we've seen from MP, and they've been a huge carry in this Game 3 when it counts.
Huge Game 3 carry here. Ryle doesn't even have a wave, by the way. That's the Caitlyn way of taking turrets, by the way. Usually you pick Caitlyn to take turrets. Ryle heard that and said, all right, I'm gonna take these turrets without even a wave, without even a team.
In that top lane, we finally saw the LeBlanc meet the Singed, and Shycept, unfortunately, she has to run for the hills. Go back to the turret as Ayukura too big in this matchup. Again, expecting a hole breaker to come out next from Ayukura, which will make her even more of a menace in the side lane. As she is really getting shoved and then consistently collapsing, trying to get extra pressure, extra chip damage to try and set up the Caitlyn again. Ayukura just being a real pest for Serenity, and they don't have any hard CC outside of a Nico, you know, flash ult to really deal with this LeBlanc. So it's a really difficult ask for them. Serenity, again, continuing to just try and sync up these ultimates to buy space for Yumichi. Yumichi, she was the big carry in the last game, but really hasn't had the chance to lay down the damage, lay down the deeps like we saw in the last couple games. because of how much pressure Ayukura has been putting down on the side, and because it feels like Arcana's always had a numbers advantage because they always have side wave shove, and Ayukura is able to do stuff like this.
I mean, you should not be able to do stuff like this. And the mid laner, Miss Timo is the minion. Miss Timo is the Pop Blossom Nico. Trying to just shut down Ryle Cataclysm as well. Everything lands. But do you have the damage to finish it off as well? Epi is still alive. Epi gets 1 kill, goes god like Miss Timo in the golden as well. Epi still has the healing and finally ends up going down. That's a massive shutdown for Yumichi, but the team fight is not over. Ayukura still looking to get the re-engage. Shirley as well. Final spark finally takes down Miss Timo. In the end, it's a 2 for 3. Serenity is very happy to walk away from that one.
That's a much better fight, though, from Serenity. And you can see if Yumichi is actually able to find space, what she can do as Arcana. I'm counting 4 melee creeps here. That's one too many, and Miss Timo makes them feel the pain. Flash onto Ryle, finds the chain. Nico does so much damage up front. Keep your eyes, though, on Yumichi, as she is able to continuously auto this fight. MP does so much work as this very fed Xin Zhao, but Yumichi was able to kite things out, didn't eat the damage from the Caitlyn or the Lux like she did in the last fight thanks to her positioning. Much better fight from her, as she's also able to get out on the back half. We have to continue to keep our eyes on Yumichi, who actually picked up a Warden's Mail, given all the AD facing the Xin, the Blanc, and the Caitlyn. I gotta say, I actually really like that buy in the Zeri. That's a very efficient buy. It's 1,000 gold. It's gonna decrease attack speed too. I think it's very intelligent from Yumichi, who has to continue to play up. She's going to eat auto attack. She gets outranged by the Caitlyn and the Blanc, and here we go, another fight.
This is the soul for Arcana, but Shysept is just dead. Shapeshift has a lot of healing. Gotta watch the Karma ER as well, but the Dragon is in the favor of Arcana. Serenity have lost their top laner, lost one of their most important members of an engage. And just like that, it's the pickup on the soul now for Arcana. Ayukura will not let them walk home alive.
This is trouble.
Still looking for a re-engage. Ayukura all on her own is diving into 4 members of Serenity like it is nothing. Aquatic looking to re-engage here as well. Just find the fight, find the team fight. Ayukura lands the stun onto Helosia, and here comes the rest of Arcana to follow up on it as well. Yumichi sends solo HP. Miss Timo just tries to run away with the W, but there's nowhere left to run. It's yet another double kill for MP, and yet another clean ace for Arcana.
Yeah, and I don't know if Serenity can leapfrog over this Ocean Soul, because you can see the work that Ayukura was able to do, just dipping back and forth in these fights. Also, now the Ocean Soul with the rest of the team to sustain. That's a wipe, and now everyone transitioning the way up to the big purple worm as Arcana. I think that soul fight, that's going to be enough for them to push forward against Serenity. The only chance that Serenity has to get back in this game, I really feel like, is an Elder at this time.
That would be our first Elder, by the way. We have yet to have an Elder in the LCS game change.
Fun fact.
Fun fact, we haven't had an Elder yet. I don't know if I want to see one today. I'm not a big fan of Elder, but you know what? Whatever happens, happens. Objective bounties are finally available for Serenity here with the 10,500 gold lead Arcana has managed to claim for themselves with the first Baron on the table as well. They have had no trouble taking these turrets, especially with the Caitlyn Lux bot lane. Now with the Baron on it as well, the Baron on all 5 members will just be that much more difficult for Serenity to find a window back in this game.
I want to give a lot of credit, though. I know that for Arcana, a lot of our focus been on the marksman for all of these teams, and for Ryle especially. I mean, given her champ pool, she has flair, too. She's been very strong for Arcana, but this time around, MP and Ayukura have stepped up so much in this game. Also, I feel like Aquatics really leveled up this week compared to what I've seen the previous 3 weeks. As, the Jax against Shysept, both games was able to get the best of her in the top lane too, as that's been a great improvement arc from Aquatic. And Arcana, I mean, just a few steps away from, I think deservedly so, booking that ticket against Astrocats here in Grand Finals.
Game 9 of a best of 9. This is where it all is. MP almost caught out. Cataclysm does end up landing, but MP, you gotta watch the healing. That is the Ocean Soul for you there. MP is still alive. MP is still autoing, and Shysept is gonna be the first member that falls. They thought that they caught MP. In fact, they ended up catching themselves. By the way, that is a 4v3. Aquatic in the bot lane, Ayukura in the top lane. First inhibitor falls in the mid, second in the top. Aquatic will make it a third real quick down here in the bot.
Miss Timo.
Miss Timo, Flash Pop Blossom. This is it. They have to win this or they are out. Ayukura and Aquatic are here to save the day, though. They have the Baron. They have all 3 inhibitors. The only things left to take are the final 2 Nexus turrets. Helosia trying to keep them alive for as long as possible. Miss Timo does not have the Pop Blossom, does not have the damage or the life to keep the sustain alive. The Nexus Serenity trying to keep it alive, but will not be quite in time. Arcana will find their spot in the finals.
Arcana high roll, they win the best of 3. They earn a second series on the big stage as they will face Astro Cats in finals. And I gotta say, I really feel like the mid-jungle duo from Arcana really stepped up in that game 3. A huge game from Ayukura, her first LeBlanc in the tournament, going with that new Trinity Force build. And man, the amount of pressure that she was able to put down in the side lane, calling MP to really help things out to get her a lead in the mid lane and transition that to the rest of the map. Fantastic play from Arcana, and they earned their ticket to Grand Finals.
Absolutely. I mean, we've yet to see a true jungle carry from any of the junglers in this tournament, right? And we got the first jungle carry from MP, the person who in their week 1 interview said, I'm coming into this tournament as a supportive jungler. This is the jungler that came in saying, I'm gonna play Sejuani, I'm gonna play the support, tank style. No, in the final game, the one that really mattered to buck the ticket to finals, they're the ones on the carries in Zhao.
And especially, you know, for MP, it was last week too. They busted out the bye, won all 3 games on the pick, hadn't played it yet in the tournament. What happens today? 2 games is in, hasn't played Xin all tournament, wins both. The fact that we see players expanding their champion pool, having success, huge game from the jungle duo of Arcana, and they earned the chance to see him again here on the big stage.
Absolutely. We do have one more best of 3 here today. Will be the finals between Astro Cat's first seed and Arcana still remaining to be the second seed. Take your bows. You absolutely deserve it. Shout out once again to Summer and Gabrielle, their coach and manager respectively.
And also shout out to Serenity. I know that we won't see Serenity again, but I really feel like the improvement they had, especially from Miss Teemo, the Orianna, was massive throughout the tournament, undefeated on the pick. It was going up against 2 really good mid laners in Ayukura and Fairy Girl. Miss Teemo really embraced that, improved drastically throughout the tournament. Also, I always really thought highly of Yumichi as a player.
Yes.
Yumichi's someone that I actually want to see in Tier 3 and Tier 2, and I think that she had some really good moments throughout Game Changers. So I definitely hope that's not the last time we see Yumichi on this stage, or even the stage that I'm used to covering with Challengers and some of the OQ stuff.
Absolutely. I'm going to call back once again to Ryle. Just this morning said it might be my first time at the LCS studio today, but will not be my last. Absolutely. Look at all of these players for any future scouting that any potential scouts might be looking at. They're playing some fantastic League of Legends for us today.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, part of the fun of this event is just really how much people have improved throughout the 4 weeks. And it feels like the team that improved the most here was Arcana, and they earned the ticket to play again. I know that this was a really close series. I mean, we kept on hyping up the fact it was a best of 9, with each team just going back and forth and back and forth. Arcana finally able to settle the score in their favor. As blue side undefeated on the day. And Arcana excited to see what kind of adaptations they have to make moving forward, because Astro Cats, they got some free scouting. They're sitting right below us here for the entire best of 3. They got front row seats to see what they're dealing with here in finals.
They've got front row seats also to the interview that we've got down back on the stage with Ashley and none other than Epi.
Hey guys. This is Ashley Kang, joined by the victorious jungler of Arcana, MP. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you feeling after that victory?
I'm super happy. I think we had a kind of shaky game too, but our team's mental is so strong, so I knew that we could bring it back on blue side, and I'm really happy right now.
Because it did look like you guys are really enjoying yourselves a lot on the stage, and even when, you know, Serenity did take a game out of you, it looked like, you know, I kind of had the mental strong. What was the comms like? What was like the overall vibe, team atmosphere like on the stage today?
I think our comms, we focus a lot on like making sure that everyone's like in a good place, like mentally, I think, because something we've gotten a lot better at, because in like the short time we've been together, is like really like having fun and like making sure that like we enjoy ourselves while we play. And I think that's super crucial, and that's why we're able to come back after a kind of rough game too.
And you had that crazy game on Xinjiao, like, you know, going invincible, like going 1-3. And I remember talking to you in week 1 when you said you came into the team as more of like a full clear, like, you know, Kha'Zix player, but you really wanted to develop yourself as a more supportive jungler, more of an all-rounder. And it looks like you are truly blossoming as one here at the stage. Can you tell me about what you experienced and how you developed as a player throughout the entire tournament?
Yeah, I have a lot of really, really talented players on my team, and it's been really good for me to sort of, especially coming in late, like taking a step back and being like, how can I help these amazing players succeed? And then when I do that, like I get chances to pop off and look amazing. So it's been really good at me to just like listen to what they need and just figuring out how I can get them in the best places possible.
What is it that you and Arcana need to do as you shortly face AstroCats, the first place team in the Game Changers right now, and take it all?
I think we just need to keep it positive. I think if we just keep playing our best game and just keep playing how we like to play and not fall into how they play, I think we can take it, yeah.
Okay, and this is my final question. We are also joined by the amazing supportive crowd here at the LCS studio. Do you have any message to them?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for being here. This is literally like an amazing opportunity that I'm still like in awe that I'm here. And I just want to thank all of you for being here because it makes it so lifetime memorable. And thank you so much.
And thank you so much for creating amazing memories with us, and best of luck against AstroCats shortly as we cut to the commercial break and come back with the grand finals for the Game Changers 2023.
And Shirley's just gone. Yumichi diving over the wall as well for her first kill of the game. Envy will turn it back around for at least one member. This is a very fenced-in Zhao looking for the 1 for 2, 1 for 3. It's a triple kill for Envy. Do not let them go untouched.
It is available as Miss Timo. Here we go.
Oh, Miss Timo flash bomb blossom.
There it is.
There it is. You do not need gold to land the wombo combo. Envy will still survive for a massive amount of time. But here comes the turnaround as well. You have to land, but you have to do the damage as well. Here comes the rest of Arcana to follow up on it as well. Yumichi sends solo HP. Miss Timo just tries to run away with the W, but there's nowhere left to run. It's yet another double kill for Envy and yet another clean ace for Arcana.